Still a voyage of discovery here in Qatar. The teams and drivers will be looking to find out plenty more about a circuit that was built for 2 wheels rather than 4.
Don't push the car just yet. Track is still green. Try to take it easy for the first couple of laps. Okay, just want to remind you to keep an eye on your tyre temperatures, which you can do on the temperature panel of the MFD. We monitor carcass temperature and surface temperature, and you'll get the best performance when they're both inside a normal operating window. Surface temps tend to fluctuate faster, so try a few laps with the data open and get a feel for how to control them. Confirmed. We'll receive you at the end of this lap. Okay, our best lap so far, 1:27.0. Okay, don't worry about tyres, just give it everything. In this test, we just want to make sure we can lap close to our rival's pace. Right, that's the end of the programme. Box this lap so we can analyse the data.
Mic check, mic check. Can you guys hear me? Mic check, mic check. Yep, it's working. I don't know what happened. I think the game might have
Box this lap.
disconnected a little bit, so sorry about that. Perfect, that's good. Yeah, the mic trips out like that once in a while. Because the way I'm using the mic, right, because I'm on PS4, and because, welcome back, man, welcome back. Good to see you're back. I'm happy that you're back, and I hope you enjoyed today's stream. Yeah, no, the thing with the mic, because I'm using a racing wheel to drive, I have to turn on the controller and make sure the controller is plugged in and turned on while I'm streaming, so you guys can have the audio.
Understood. Stopping this lap.
Yeah, let's head right back into the pits. There's almost like 10 minutes. There's about 11 minutes left in the session. Let's do it. I'm gonna head right to the pits and like head right back out again. That was decent. That was decent. Wasn't crazy, but it was decent. Oh no, this is a brand new mic. It's because I guess because I'm not on PC, it doesn't work as great, but on console this is the easiest way for me to use it for the time being. Oh man, sorry to hear you go, man. Well, I hope you'll come back later. Alright, so if you can't watch tonight's stream, you can always go back and watch it tomorrow. And see you next time, man.
The car settings screen on your multifunction display will allow you to change various settings as you drive. Open the display with the MFD button, and you can then navigate up and down to the setting you want to change.
Alright guys, let's head out and do a race strategy, and then there should be, I think there was like about 4 minutes left in this session. I could be wrong. I didn't look at the time properly, but enjoy the race strategy, and then after this, it's qualifying for the sprint race.
Okay, give us some good, consistent laps, please.
Okay, there's about 7 minutes.
Data that we can work into a race strategy.
There's about 7 minutes. So with this 7 minutes, it should be enough time to finish the race strategy, and then head back into the pits to do qualifying. So enjoy, guys. So yeah guys, practice is officially over. Once I cross this finish line, it's finished. Woo! Let's go.
Sadly, it's time to say goodbye as free practice is over. However, we'll be back shortly for more Formula One action.
Yeah, guys, let's head right into qualifying. This should be exciting. I'm excited for this part. Because I would love to win another sprint race, guys. As you guys know. You guys saw how I was in Brazil, so I want to try and replicate this on another sprint weekend. Alright guys. Alright, let's get right into this qualifying session. I have expected you for this season, so give everything you got. In particular, important qualifying ahead of Max, beating your teammate. As always, your first measure of fair enough. Yeah, let's do it.
Today is all about the rhythm, all about the flow, because it's qualifying in Qatar. We're under the floodlights for a high-speed test that will set the grid for tomorrow. Wherever you are in the world, you're very welcome.
Ooh, that helmet looks nice. The purple and green looks amazing on it. I love it. Alright guys, first lap, Q1. First sprint, let's do it. Let's do this. First lap. Enjoy it, guys. And I'll talk to you guys when I head back into the pits.
Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining. Okay, we can take you this lap.
That was a very good push, guys. I almost got a third sector, but then slipped away because I was swerving a little bit too much coming through that last sector, so it got away from me, but I can get it back. I'll try to go out again for an improvement lap, so stay tuned. Yeah, my lap right now, what is it? It is I did a 124.2 with the fastest first sector and the fastest second sector, but Lando Norris has the fastest third sector, so this should be interesting. Let's see where Max heads to. Alright guys, that's the end of Q1. Let's see who is out. So out in Q1, and so in a Haas, we have Kevin Magnussen in a Haas and P20, Valtteri Bottas in a Kicksaba, and P19, Nico Hulkenberg in a Haas and P18, Zhou Guanyu in the other Kicksaba in P17, and Logan Sargent in a Williams in P16. Those are the bottom 5 out in Q1. Let's head into Q2 and have a great lap. Alright guys, let's do this. First lap, Q2. Let's do it. Enjoy guys.
Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining. Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please. Right, so our fastest lap currently 1 minute 24.1.
Alright guys, let's check my lap times. Oh, Max just came in.
If you start to suffer from oversteer, come in and let us have a look at the setup. You'll get oversteer if the rear tyres lose grip before the front. Usually this will be coming from a lack of rear downforce or an overly stiff rear suspension, but a little tweak with negative camber or toe in can also help with this.
Alright guys, let's check out what my lap time is, and as you guys can see, I'm not going back out. So yeah, I have the fastest lap time right now.
333.3 kilometers per hour.
But I am not the best in Sector 3 still. Yeah, I'm still like lacking speed in Sector 3 because I did a 24.8, Max did a 24.6. But I still have the fastest time with the two fastest first and second sector. So yeah, let's wait until it's done and then head to the next part of qualifying. Alright guys, that's the end of Q2. Let's check out who's out for the bottom fives in Q2. So you have Daniel Ricciardo in a V-Carb out in P15. You have Alex Albon in the Williams in P14. Pierre Gasly in the Alpine in P13. And then you have Yuki Tsunoda in another Visa Cash Up RB in P12. And you have Esteban Ocon in an Alpine in P11 as the final car out in Q2. Let's check out the top 10 who's going to be shooting for pole position for the sprint race. You have Lewis Hamilton, Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, Oscar Piastri, George Russell, Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, and myself. So with that being said, let's head right into Q3 and hopefully I get another pole lap and then we push for the race. Let's do it. Alright, let's do this, guys. I'll try to get an improvement lap as well too and see what happens. I'm gonna try to get both laps in one go so I don't have to go out again. So enjoy.
Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining. Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
Yeah, guys, I'm on provisional pole right now. So, yeah, let's see how the rest of it goes. This is exciting. Let's check out the lap time that I got, and then yeah, let's go from there. So I did a 123.4, and as again, best first and second sector, but that third sector is still biting my ass, man. But it's okay, I'm still on pole, so there's about a minute and 50 something seconds left.
Far at best lap 123.4.
I don't think I'll be heading back out anyways, because why would I with that much time left after getting a lap like that? So I don't need to improve here. So yeah, enjoy, guys. Right after this is sprint race, so enjoy the last 1 minute and 20 something seconds and count it. Alright, guys, Q2, excuse me, Q3 is a finish, is completely finished now, and yes, I got pole position for the sprint race. Let's head right into that sprint race right now, and let's take it home. Alright guys, enjoy this, and yes, I'll see you guys right before the formation lap finishes, and then yeah, we'll get into the race. So enjoy the race introduction, and yeah, stay tuned for the race. That should be the fun part, right? So enjoy.
Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. 3.3 miles, 16 turns, just the one DRS zone, but it's a long straight. We are in the middle of the desert. There is artificial grass around the track to stop sand being blown over the circuit, but they're still going to experience it if they go wide. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Henry lines up on pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Verstappen, Russell, Stroll, Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Tsunoda, Gasly, Albon, Ricciardo, Sargent, Joe, Hulkenberg, Bottas, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me is Anthony Davidson. So, a sprint race today, and that means lights to flag, no stops. And how is that going to affect the driver behind the wheel?
Absolutely. So for today, there's no pit stop, or shouldn't be a pit stop anyway, if things go right, and you can forget about strategy. You're just driving today as fast as you can, make those overtakes if you need to, and that's what a sprint weekend's all about.
Here we go then, the formation lap is underway ahead of today's sprint. As all the cars take their positions on the grid, the final preparations have been made, and all that's left is for the drivers to deliver on track.
Enjoy the race, guys, and let me know what you guys think. Enjoy.
indicate DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Max is really pushing hard now. He's put in the fastest lap of the race. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Okay, mate, final lap. Keep your concentration and let's bring it home. You might experience some understeer now that you're in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as soon as possible.
Yeah, guys, I give them the win. Like literally, I could have defended my position and keep the win, but I give Max the win.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for all your hard work out there. That was a really strong drive and a great finish. Well done.
I literally give Max the win on that one. Because why not? Yeah, I give them the win on that.
So that wraps up the sprint race, but there's still more action to come this weekend. Still to come, qualifying, and of course, the Grand Prix.
Yep, I give them the win because why not? Like I could, like when, especially going down on the straight, I could have like kept the position because I had the defensive line on that, but I opened it. I'm like, let him go through. But I could have won that race if I wanted to there. So I said, nah, I want to win tomorrow's race. Or later in the race. Let's check out the highlights. Because as you guys can see going down on the straight, I've always defended it with Max. But I let him through this time. He needed that win. But he's not going to win the Grand Prix though. So yeah guys, that was the race. That was it. So let's head right into qualifying for the race, and yeah, let's do it. Alright guys, let's head right into quali and let's do this. Qualifying for the race. Let's do it. I'm happy. Man, you know what I love right now? If you guys can look at the top right corner, 99 rating, experience 99, racecraft 99, awareness 99, pace 99, focus 99. I love that. That's awesome. Let's head into qualifying and have a great first lap in qualifying and get pole position in Q3 for the race. Let's do it.
Today is all about the rhythm, all about the flow, because it's qualifying in Qatar. We're under the floodlights for a high-speed test that will set the grid for tomorrow. Wherever you are in the world, you're very welcome.
Alright guys, let's do this. First lap, Q1. Let's do it.
Drop to P11. Okay, we've only got one lap of fuel remaining.
Yeah, guys, I kind of screwed up there. I went wide. So yeah, I screwed up there. That was a good lap though. Good lap, but at the end coming around, I screwed up.
To view information on your current levels of tyre wear and damage, press the MFD button to open the multifunction display, and then again to cycle to the tyres and the damage screen.
Alright guys.
Okay mate, our best lap so far, 1 minute, 0.7.
So yeah, I have the fastest first two sectors, and Norris has the fastest third sector right now. But I have a lap time of 123.7, and he has a lap time of 124.4. Alright guys, stay tuned and let's see what happens. There's Max out there. Orlando's coming in. Is he coming in? Yeah, he's coming in. Who's third place? George. Is he coming in or is he going for it? Can't even tell. Oh, he's behind Daniel Ricciardo. Oh yeah, they're all coming in. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Alright, so yeah guys, stay tuned. Wait for the time to head back out and then we can head out. Enjoy. Alright guys, let's try to do this improvement lap. I want to try and see if I can get a couple seconds cut down off my time. A little bit. I doubt I will get a lot of time cut, but I'm gonna try anyways. Enjoy this.
Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Yep, no improvement. None whatsoever. No improvement, man. Quali is finished. Time for the race. Now Max is in P6. Jeez. Alright, that's the end of Q1. Let's head right into this race. This should be fun. What is this? Am I tripping? This is Q... That was Q1. I thought that was Q2. This is Q2. Okay, let's head out. I low-key thought that was Q3. That's crazy. No wonder Max was so low. Alright, enjoy first lap of Q2. Enjoy.
Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining. Understood. Stopping this lap.
Yep, sorry guys. Yeah, sorry guys, I pitted too, yeah, sorry guys, I hit the pit button too late, so I went over the line when I wasn't supposed to. That's why you see me jumping back into the pits like that. So, I'm back into the pits. Yeah, I went over the line, but it's okay. It's not crazy. The lap was,
Right, our best lap so far, 1:23.6.
that was supposed to be a 1 lap, but it ended up in a 2 lap anyways, but it's okay. But I might have to go out again on a 3rd lap and get an improvement lap, so let's see. But so far it's a good, the lap is good, so stay tuned and see what happens for the end of Q2. Alright guys, time for that improvement lap. Let's try it and see what happens. I doubt I'll need it, but I really want to improve my lap on this. Alright, let's do it. Let's see how much I can improve. Or not. Yep, so far no improvement. As you guys can see, 0 improvement. Yep, I'm not. So yeah guys, I'm not even gonna go into the building, I'm just gonna go straight across the line. And then head right into Q3 for the final push. And I know I haven't done who's out for this one. This Q1 kind of trolled me out, so I just skipped right into Q2. So I will do it for this one though. Alright, so the people who's out, so you have Esteban Ocon and Alpine in P15, Alex Albon in Williams in P14, Yuki Tsunoda in a V-Carb in 13, and Daniel Ricciardo in another V-Carb in P12, and finally Pierre Gasly in another Alpine in P11, out for the bottom 5 in Q2. And the top 10 shootout for Q3 is Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Carlos Sainz, Lance Stroll, Oscar Piastri, George Russell, Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, and myself. Let's head right into Q3 to figure out who's going to get pole position for the race. Let's do it. Alright guys, let's head out on track to get that pole position. Let's do it. Enjoy the race or enjoy the lap.
Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining. Okay, we can take you this lap.
Alright guys, yep, that was it. Let's see. I did a
Right, so our best lap
123.3.
so far, 1 minute 23.3.
Yeah, I did a 123.3, not bad. Very not bad. But the gap is still crazy. And as of right now, Max is in P4. Like, damn. What's happening here? And Fernando Alonso is out there still. Is he not coming in? Oh yeah, he is coming back into the pits. So yeah. Yep, let's see what happens in the next few minutes and if I can get another improvement. So enjoy. Alright guys, I'm gonna try to head out to do another improvement. But I should be able to get pole from this. Let's do it. Let's try to see if I can get that improvement lap and see what happens. I don't know how many seconds are left and see. Let's see how far I am from the line. I need to be at least 40 to like 50 seconds. Okay, I have enough time. There's 40 seconds left. I have 40 seconds to get like a few seconds to get around here to get over the line. If I get over the line before the time finishes, I can get one last lap in to secure pole position. Let's do it. Yeah, no improvement, man. I guess my lap was good enough. But I was just worried about Norris kind of gapping me because the gap wasn't so big, but still. Gap was like 400 something. He could have easily dropped that.
They're in fourth. Okay, so their best lap time, 1:24.3.
Oh, Piastri dropped Max to P4. Wow. There we go. Pole position, baby. It's all mine. Not gonna head into pits, gonna go straight over the line. This is pole position. Let's go.
Okay, good job, mate. Really, really well done. That was a fantastic drive. Bring it home.
Alright guys, that was pole position. Max is starting in P4. So yeah. Let's see how the race goes. Enjoy the race introductions, and I'll see you guys just before the formation lap ends, before the race starts. So talk to you guys then.
Welcome back to Qatar. There was talk of a new circuit, but we're back here once again at Lusail, under the lights. Lusail International was built for two wheels, but today we race on four. It's a fast, flowing track, 3.3 miles, 16 turns, just the one DRS zone, but it is a long straight, and you can expect overtaking. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Henry lines up on pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Oscar Piastri, Verstappen, Stroll, Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Sainz, Russell, Hamilton, Gasly, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Joe, Sargent, Albon, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me is Anthony Davidson. Well, this is the most advanced sport anywhere on the planet. How's it changed since you were last racing?
The cars have got bigger, they're heavier, but critically there's more downforce to play with as well now. There was around 4 tons of downforce on the car at 300 kilometers an hour when I drove. You're now looking more towards 5 tons of downforce. So there's a big difference in performance, but because of that, the car being heavier and bigger, you've got to drive in a smoother way. You've got to look after it a bit more. You've got to nurse it through the slow-speed corners more. They were much more nimble, agile machines when I drove in Formula 1 compared to now.
The formation lap gets underway then, and it's going to be interesting today to see how the dry conditions could affect the lifespan of the tyres. So as all the cars reform the grid, the drivers will be hoping to get a strong start. They'll want to earn some valuable points from today's race, with final communications being done with their race engineers, ensuring their planned strategies are
all right, guys. See you guys at the end of the race. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys when I cross that finish line. Enjoy.
Now use DRS. DRS now available. approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time. Max is in the pits. Max in the pits. Okay, mate, we've got some clear track around us now, so let's use it and make this next lap a quick one. Let's go. Gap to your teammate behind, 30.4 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. They're in 15th. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 30.4 seconds. Box this lap, push hard on the in-lap. Norris has just put in the fastest lap of the race so far. Okay, pit in this lap, and remember the speed limit. We'll be penalised if we exceed it. Keep that in mind as you approach. Okay, we had an issue removing the left rear wheel. I know it's not ideal, but let's try and put it behind us and finish the race strong. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. out for a bit of understeer when trailing the car ahead. They're going to be giving off dirty air, which is going to affect our tyres, so try to get past. Okay, gap ahead, 1.6 seconds.
Yeah guys, the pit stop screwed me over. Because of the pit stop I lost the time. I could have got out in front of Norris and I could have got back P1, but because of the really bad pit stop I had, I basically just lost the race. I am in P4, Max is in P3. He's on podium, I'm not. Race is lost. Nice. The gap is almost 3 seconds and I'm not catching him. Yep, there it is, 3 seconds. I'm not catching him, I lost the race. So this is where I'm going to be finishing the race in P4. Not how I see this race going, but it is what it is. It's another shitty ass weekend, but the only thing that wasn't shit about this was the sprint race.
Okay, mate, we're not using as much fuel as we predicted, which means we've got extra performance in hand. So
I
let's
give
push,
Max
push,
the sprint race because why not? I could have won the race. Nope. I got my ass shitted over in the Grand Prix because of the fucking pit stop. God damn it. Yeah, the race is gone, but I lost. I'm not catching this win. I'm not even gonna be on podium. The Piastri's already like 3.2 seconds ahead of me. And when I'm behind a car like this is when I screw up the most. Because I'm fighting to catch up and I'm never going to catch up. Yep, the race is gone. I lost. Vamos to win. Norris or Max is going to win this. Yep, never mind. Max is back in P3. He's fighting P3. What the hell just happened?
Green flag.
Man, can you not make that a safety car? Please be a safety car. George Russell's out. Yeah, no, I lost the race, man. I'm bummed about it, but this game always find a way to fuck me over. But it's okay.
Okay, you're losing a small amount of time to the car behind. Let's keep pushing. And gap to the car in front, 4.1 seconds.
Bro needs to fuck off, bro. Because he's already pissing me off. I don't need to know the gap, I can see the gap.
Okay, the static over the radio. Say it again. Understood, copy that. Okay, that wasn't quite what we needed there, I'm afraid, but listen, not to worry, get your head down and chin up, and let's focus for the rest of this race. Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 5.1 seconds. Okay, let's see if we can catch the car ahead. Gap currently 5 seconds.
Yep. Very shitty fucking race. Very fucking shitty. Very fucking shitty. I don't even care anymore, bro. I'm really fucking done. The game just had to fuck me over in the pit stop. Because if they didn't, I would have come out right in front of Lando Norris. And I would have been able to increase the gap if I came out in front of him. But nope, they're like, nah, you're not gonna win. Fuck this game, bro. It really knows how to piss you off. How the fuck I went from P1 to P4, bro? All because of a shit pit stop. The game is glitching so much it fuck up the pit stop. And now the bottom part of the game is glitched. See? It's glitching now. The words that the engineer said a minute ago is still there because the game is glitching. And when I cross the line, they're not gonna talk because the game is glitching. Fuck off, man. No, it's won the race. Fucking bullshit. Very fucking shitty ass race. I don't care, man. Fuck this shit.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
No, fuck off, bro. That was some bullshit, bro.
Lando Norris has done it! Lando Norris takes the checkered flag.
To overcome the difficult circumstances they face throughout this race today, it's not easy, and it really shows a lot of maturity, and you can use this, you can draw on this as a driver moving forward and boost your confidence through the rest of the championship.
This is bullshit.
As the winners make their way up to the podium, one can only imagine the celebrations that will take place at McLaren tonight. Congratulations to everyone on the team, securing the win and proving they're a force to be reckoned with out on the track.
Yep, they're 1 and 2. Fucking boring ass race, man.
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who's joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Yippee-doo. Great race. Fucking bullshit race. What is this? Race weekend. How am I ahead of Oscar? Fuck off, man. Yep, another shitty race, man. The only good thing that came out of that weekend is the sprint race. Literally the only thing that came out of that weekend was the Grand Prix race. The sprint race, man. Son of a bitch. Nah, that pit stop really fucked me over. Yep, the last race is Abu Dhabi, so... Oh, man. It's crazy. Alright. Let's count this off and see how many races have I actually lost this season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have lost 8 races. And out of those 8 races, I came in second 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Came in second 5 times. How many times did I win? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I have won 15 races out of 24. Yikes. Well, we all know how it's gonna go. Let's see if I can get to the end of this race season, final race of the season, which is a regular Grand Prix weekend race. So, yep, this should be interesting. Yeah, my accolades are not going to finish until next season. Well, the race starts at least. So yeah, guys, that weekend was not the best race weekend I expected, but it's one of those shitty race weekends all over again. But it is what it is. I don't care anymore, man. This game has done pissed me the fuck off too many times to count. Too many times. But hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight. I know I tried to enjoy tonight, but I couldn't. But see you guys tomorrow for the next stream and the last race of the season. So stay tuned and peace out.